this special effect.
Okay.
Certain compositions of Baroque and Mozart's music have a special effect, have a special ability to enhance your learning capabilities. These have been proven. If you Google it, or you would find it.
Because I've heard that you can make babies listen to this,
yes.
the compositions.
Those are the Baroques that have a beat of around 40 to 60 beats per minute, and the Mozarts which have over 5,000 hertz frequency have this special effects. Those are the research has been done on countless
Doctor,
occasions.
this is something we don't know about you. It seems like you're quite musical as well.
Yeah, because when I wrote this and I mentioned that there was school lots and lots of requests. So initially I released the Baroque. I bought royalty frees, and then the Mozarts, and they have been selling, I think, for over 10-12 years, and thousands and thousands of people have listened. Students have benefited them, and they should work. If not, someone would have taken me to town by now.
The fact that
so for a student or anyone, it is nice to listen to either Baroque, Mozart, or something like a great nice ragadari or a very mellowing type of music, which would calm you and soothe you, and in fact that takes you to what is called trance states. Now, may I ask you, having listened during the break, while listening or after, towards the end, didn't we feel better than before, or didn't we feel something?
That is very true.
Yes,
we did.
Now, in any person's mind, there is a waking state of consciousness. That is what we are now in, and slightly below that, you could fall into a trance, like a daydream. And during a trance, those who are trained can give commands or insert things. I say during that, if I were to tell you, okay, you would feel good, or you could learn well, or you would pass your math, it can be done, and very artfully. Or if you fall into a trance, that you are not sleeping, you are not asleep, but neither are you fully awake.
Something like hypnosis?
Hypnosis, what the hypnosis that is generally talked about is the hypnosis where you fall into deep trances. But between the waking state of consciousness and the deep trance, there is a state of trance, which we do go into on and off during a day, and we could use music, since the question of music, or stories, or for that anything, gazing or meditating, and then do either study or do whatever we want, and we could reap enormous amounts of benefits. So that is an area which has fascinated me, and I use very often and very successfully to create change in people who want to stop smoking or alcohol, or lose weight, or feel happy. It is possible.
So what you're saying is this, you can use this state of trance to also stop addiction?
Yes, certainly.
Wow.
That's how all of these things are interconnected. All these tools are there, they're available in our lives. We just have to know how to use them, how to use music, how to use the things around us to reach a better state of life.
Exactly,
That's amazing.
This is amazing news, Amay, because all this time I was under the impression that something like addiction is something to do with a more physical aspect, where you crave things, but I'm wrong, seems like it.
Yeah, there is a physical element. Say if you take a chemical in the form of nicotine or alcohol, yes, but it can be, but there is a greater mental side to it. And
so if you're psychologically up for it, you can.
It is possible,
yeah.
And especially phobias, which many people believe that it could take years and years or months to get over, for heights or spiders or cockroaches or
public speaking.
Public speaking especially, it can be reversed in under 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yes, I mean I've done, and it's not only that I have been doing it. Those who are trained in the techniques that I use, like
it's been proven that
it's been done, not only proven.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Great, Amaya. I think we can go for a short commercial break and come back for the final segment of this morning's show. And I've got some interesting questions lined up for Dr. Priyanka when we do come back. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break. welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka for the final segment of this morning's show with me, Vasam, and Amaya, and Dr. Priyanga D'Souza.
We've been having interesting conversations.
Yes, we've been having very interesting conversations with Doctor. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Doctor is also a sports physician who has worked with a lot of sports people, and he's also been in the FIFA panel. He was in the FIFA panel as well, and I'm sure that comes with a lot of experience, Doctor. Now, as a person who has been in the field of self-motivation, you've given a lot of public speeches, you've written books, you overall have one-on-one sessions with people on how to improve themselves. And being in the sports field as well, something we've come across is that a lot of sports personalities are used in terms of when it comes to material for motivation. And there are a lot of stories from different sports personalities as well. What I would like to ask you is, in your experience, have you come up with any have you witnessed anything firsthand that was so remarkable? Your best experience in the field of seeing someone personally improve?
Yeah, so many. I think.
If you can just give a nutshell.
Yeah, I remember Susantika Jayasingh, when I was also part of the medical team in 1995 SAF Games, and where she had this ban, and she was away from training, and the night before, few days before, she got clearance, and she just joined the flight and went there, and then went for the first training. And when the whole Indian media and all media just surrounded her and asked her, "You have been away from training, what are your thoughts?" And her answer was, "Come with the camera to the 100-meter finals and then ask me." That and that was the end of the interview.
As well. Okay.
And what happened was, not only did she win, she broke the SAF record. So it goes to show how much, if you believe,
self-confidence
at a deep cellular level, that materially it does take place, it does happen.
Wow, it must have been
I'm sure there are so many stories like this by your readers as well, people who have bought your books and who have experienced what you've taught them. I'm sure that you have so many experiences with them as well.
Yeah, I mean, countless, because since I've written on a broad range, from like man-woman relationship to parenting to learning to success to creativity. There have been students, there have been parents, those who have overcome like family problems, those who never believed that they could create something, who did it, those who were in jobs, who started an entrepreneurial venture and then went on to do it, and today are doing extremely well. Yeah.
Doctor, I'm going to cut in there with a quick question. You said you've written 19 books, right? And all these 19 books have been in different topics.
Yes.
So are all these books on self-improvement, or have you gone into areas like novels as well?
Interesting question. My last book, towards the end, as I told you, like I also suddenly realized the power of storytelling, and the taking people into trances and how stories. And my last book, as opposed to the others, was more a parable. It is self-improvement, but it was a parable running from beginning to end. So it could be considered a story. If it was not a novel, it was not a novel, but it was like something like in the realms of the Celestine prophecy, where a person, something happens and then there is a story weaved. So yes, definitely I would be using more and more of storytelling in delivering. It's a challenge, how to weave into the self-improvement concept something. Now my new book is on emotions. And I'm trying to weave
storytelling
through.
On that note, do you take inspiration from international authors as well? Because there are people like Robin Sharma who have written books such as The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and things like that. So again, I think that he has also brought in an element of storytelling.
I was inspired by Deepak Chopra very early, because I was a physician, and then after doing my NLP, I got to learn about mind-body medicine, and I did some work with Harvard collaborative work, and then exploring further, I read quantum healing, and then I suddenly knew, okay, there are people who write books and touch the hearts of millions and also speak, and that's how I was also inspired by Chopra and Phil and Stephen Covey, and all I read all those books, and I'm touched. And also I had the benefits of living in Sri Lanka and having the access to the sutras, which I think is a rarity, and the ability to learn about the deeper states of consciousness and the jhanas, and having practiced meditation for a long time. And I think the special, if you would ask me what is special, the speciality is the ability, that the knowledge and the wisdom that I've taken from the sutra Pitakas, the sutra especially, that I've used it in a very simple way to give certain truths, the sutras and the Vedas both, in a very simple way to the mass. That has been my passion, and maybe it is due to that many people have enjoyed.
Okay, Doctor. Well, Doctor, we've come to the end of the show. It was really nice talking to you, especially this early in the year. But before we do go off, which we need to do really fast, if I could ask you, as a self motivator, in one sentence, if you can give a piece of advice to our viewers, what would that be?
Within every person there lies an enormous power. If you look for it, you will find it, and if you find it, believe it and use it.
All right, excellent advice there from Dr. Priyanka D'Souza. And of course, Amaya, we're going to end the show with one of his favorite songs from the Eagles, and that is Hotel California. Doctor, this one is especially for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's been lovely having you here.
It was fantastic being here today.
Thank you, Amaya, for doing the show with me.
It's lovely positive vibes in the studio this morning, and we hope that you're feeling it there at home as well. So we're going to leave you with a lovely
Have a great Wednesday, guys.
Bye.